crafty babes, Andrea here to give you a little walkthrough of this little mini album that I made for issue number 13 of Retro Hit magazine. This is a project I made using a kit from Tracy Reed. She is one of our sponsors, and I was lucky enough to get her as my project. And I made this cute little mini book all about my shoe stories. If you can see the label here, it says Shoe Stories. And what I did was I took a small, I think it's 3.5 by 5.5 is the size of this field book. And I made a little notebook out of it, and I made a little tie. To make the tie, I just punched a hole with my scissors through the back and then strung a piece of baking twine through until physically, just kind of measured it by eye. And then I used one little tiny piece of washi tape to just secure it down. And then I used the very last page of the book to glue completely down. And I used, I'm pretty sure I wanted to use score tape, but ended up using a glue stick. It has been pretty secure. It's really not going anywhere. But this way you've got the tie at the end, and I tied just a big knot around it. And then that way when it closes, you've got the ability to kind of loop it closed. I'm sure there are plenty of other ways to make this work, but this was just my quick thinking way that I could get it to close, because I really wanted to use this baker's twine. So I just covered the cover with a piece of cardstock or a piece of pattern paper. This is from the kit called We Are All Stories. And I just loved it because there's a lot of references to just stories, and that our stories matter. And even if it's a story about shoes, it's important. And I just wanted to tell a few stories. I have so many pictures of my shoes, and they mean a lot to me because they just feel like they're what starts an outfit. And I get a lot of inspiration from my shoes. And I wish I could wear them more. But my particular article is actually called a retro hip recipe, which means that I have to use 3 things in my project. And one of the things was washi. I had to use wrapping supplies, and goodness, now I'm forgetting the last thing. What was the other thing? Now I don't remember. Oh, paint. I had to use paint supplies. So I have the 3 items that I needed to use, and I incorporated all of them in some point in here. But this polka dot paper is actually tissue paper. I just tore a little bit off and used my glue stick to adhere it down, and it just sinks right in. I love it so much. So I just layered a couple of elements from the kit. And then on the inside, it says breaking news, I love shoes. And I just used a couple of elements and stapled them down on another little piece of that tissue paper. I have another photo that I want to use here of my closet with all of my shoes. I just didn't have it printed or ready to go. So I will go and add that back in later. Here is the first page. So for the paint supplies, I actually used a paintbrush to paint onto my stamps with acrylic paint. And then that left like this kind of thick and thin, smushy kind of look, which I really ended up liking. I used a label maker again and just matched some colors with a little bit of pattern paper from the kit. I basically matched up a pattern paper to a photo. So each photo kind of has a pattern paper that matches from the kit. And then I used this piece of paper to just use it as a little bit of journaling. I used a washi strip on mostly all of these to kind of get something to adhere. I just wanted to try to use that as a consistent element throughout each page. This one has just a full sheet of paper with this photo. I just loved the black and white with one color. And I love just the ability to write a small story. It doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing. And I did struggle between whether or not I wanted to tell the story of what was happening in the photo at the time or about the shoe itself. And I decided to go with the shoe itself because that's really that's really what I wanted to do. I just, at the kind of halfway through this, I was like, wait a minute, am I telling the story of why I'm on the skateboard or the story of the shoe? So it's definitely the story of the shoes. I love this beautiful pink gingham paper. It was a perfect match with my floral Vans and just some easy, simple stamping. This black and white polka dot with like this rough, if you can see, there's like this a rough texture to some of the dots. I thought it was perfect to go with these new Skechers I got. And of course, a list. And that is all I have so far. I'm ready to fill the rest of this up. I'm always taking shoe shots, and I have older photos that I'd like to just get printed and include in this little notebook. So you can see the full, all the photos if you, grab issue number 13 of Retro Hit magazine. It is available after July 1st, and it is available in printed format and in digital format. You can start by going to retrohitco.com/shop, and you can find all of the different formats and ways that you can get your hands on not only the magazine, but this kit. I hope that you enjoyed this video and are inspired to tell some kind of different story in your life. Talk to you real soon. Bye.